Saint Moses the Black. How does a violent gangster become one of the coolest saints in history? And I'll tell you. Also known as Saint Moses the Ethiopian, but also known as the first black saint. Originally a servant in an Egyptian household, he was kicked out and left to fend for himself due to being suspected for thievery. With no master and no rules, Moses turned to a life of banditry and murder. He eventually became the leader of a violent gang of 75 men who raided villages and homes and ambushed travelers in the Egyptian desert, swimming through crocodile-infested waters with a sword between his teeth. He one night was attempting one of his violent robberies, but it quickly went downhill when a dog alerted to his presence. While fleeing from the authorities, Moses stumbled upon a monastery. And the monks, instead of fearing and rejecting Moses, they offered him food and shelter. Something about their kindness struck Moses. He was so taken aback by their generosity that he decided to become a monk himself. Now, leaving his violent ways behind was not easy. He had a legendary temper. But instead of fighting others, he fought his demons with the same brutality that he used to show people. For example, Moses is known to sleep standing up with his eyes wide open and fast on days on end. Moses once said, "The only dimension in which you can defeat Satan is in humility, for Satan has none." One night, a gang of thieves broke into the monastery, but Moses was able to overpower them, and he tied him up and brought him to the other monks and asked, "What shall we do with them? I have no need for violence anymore." He then forced them all to become monks. At the age of 75, another group of thieves broke into the monastery. But instead of fighting back this time and tying him up, he stayed behind and allowed the other monks to flee, and stated that he wished to fulfill the Lord's teaching of those who live by the sword, die by the sword. He was then martyred, but he was not martyred as a criminal. He was martyred as